just like casually speak. Let me just press the permission button here, get that off the screen. Got it. Yes. Yeah. So it's nice for us to just be able to get this opportunity.
Well, thanks for taking the time. I know you've been really, really busy with all the pageants that you do. So we have Lisa Harrigan
Yeah,
Joseph. I said that right? Okay, I wouldn't want to
you
say it
did.
wrong. I'm a 3-name gal as well, or 4-name gal myself, so I know what that's like. Sitting behind me, I have my latest issues of I'm Here with Magazine.
And it's got Quinn.
It's got Quinn, one of your pageant gals, right on the cover. You got
Yeah.
it. I feel like we have not actually got to know each other, but you're so famous in the city. You're very well known and you're a community leader, actually. I noticed that about you. And that's kind of what we're doing with our issue is the 2022 is kind of like the Dreamers series and the Leaders of Tomorrow. It's kind of like the topics that we like put people up in. And I really see that with you. Like you are running. I went to Toronto actually with Quinn Teachma for her just 2 days at the pageant. I can only make 2 days, unfortunately. But that was an amazing experience that I got to have as a whirlwind. So imagine you living that life every day, going to Toronto, going to all the cities in the town and hosting, coaching, advising, and being a mother to all like 50 women at a time. What's
It
that
is a
like?
little bit like that. It is a lot of different roles, juggling them on hand between the two. Pardon me, sun sneeze. Just juggling between the different roles and making sure that I'm always finding a way to be there for all of my girls, all of my queens. Um, and yes, truly I am very busy. There isn't a moment that isn't busy with me, but I thrive in productivity. I would rather be busy than bored. So I will take all the busyness because it just means that I'm opening more doors, not only for myself, but for other women in this city. And
Oh,
when those doors are open, the things that they can accomplish are truly amazing.
well, you're definitely putting these gals out there, getting them interested, coaching them through the whole hellacious. I say to Quinn before when I was watching Quinn Teachma, who was going through it for her, like, third or second time or something. And even for her, when I was watching her, I thought, like, oh my God, hun, I couldn't do it, what she does, because it's a lot of like prep work on yourself. You have to like know who you are, come up with your platform. So I don't know anything about the pageant world. So that's why we have you on today. We wanted to have you as an expert and a leader of tomorrow for I'm Here with Mag.com. And we wanted to talk to you about like, what is pageants and what does it really mean? Because I know following you and Quinn and all the other gals, they really like share the meaning of like community, and it's just like anything else. Like if they wanted to be, if you're an actor, it's like a different community that most people don't know about, because
Mhm.
usually people think like you have to be so beautiful to start, and to be a part of it. It's a thing, right? It's a part of it. But let's get into pageants and about your history and what brought you to where you are right now. Where did you start?
Mhm. Well, where did I start? I started at the age of 14. Um, my mom actually brought me to watch a pageant when I was 13, the Miss Teen Calgary Pageant, when she was asked to be a judge back then.
Hmm.
And I fell in love with it the moment I saw it and knew that that was, where I wanted to be and what I wanted to be doing. So the very next year, I entered my first pageant, and I have not left the world since.
Oh, wow.
It's truly become my life's passion. I literally eat, live, and breathe pageantry, and so yeah, in that way, you're right. I have definitely become a leader in my community. I have over 2 decades of experience to pass along to all these other women that want to get involved in this community and see where they can take it and where it can change their lives. And you know I know there's a lot of stereotypes that are still out there about
It's still there.
pageantry.
Yeah, it's still there,
And
unfortunately.
it's something that we're always fighting. And I know there's this you have to be beautiful to win sort of thing, but really I think that's been misconstrued by society a lot. And what it is, it's about us putting on an outward presentation. It's not about how beautiful we are to begin with, but rather how we present ourselves to the world and the beauty within that. And it's not just outer beauty, it's inner and outer beauty. You have to have both in order to be successful in this community. There is a degree of what we do with our titles. It's not just pageant day. It's not just the big fancy show that we see. It's what we do leading up to it, and it's what we do leading after it.
Yeah.
That is really what pageantry is about. The pageant itself is just the fun moment, but it is
Mhm.
not the whole picture.
Yeah, no one sees that, right? Like we just see, like Ashley Cullingbull. I follow her, and she's a
Mhm.
pageant winner, and look where she's at now. So she's an actress now.
Absolutely.
She's hosting like the hockey game or something not too long ago, or a football game that was really big in Edmonton. And I thought to myself, wow, she's really making it just like made a platform, I guess that's the word you guys use in your community. And it's kind of like
Mhm.
her platform of like who she is. And like you can see
and
a
uh,
lot of
and
authenticness with that.
Ashley is so great because she's so much more than just who she is. It's what she stands for, and
Yeah.
she stands for a very large community and helping them branch out and be seen in a better light. And I think that that's really incredible that she's been able to become this leader for her own community to show other women that they can break that glass ceiling. They can get through those into those other areas that they want to. And Ashley's done a fabulous job at it. And she's a great example of how pageantry opens doors and how it gets you into the areas you want to be to make those differences in other communities.
Yeah, it kind of can shoot you up in just like one pageant, actually. I've noticed a few girls who have like just started through connection or something, or however somebody's journey is to get into it. It's kind of like being an actor or, trying to be a dentist. Like you have to like find that route, find that community, and like then you get in kind of, so to speak. And then it's like to get to the top though, right? That takes like time,
It takes work.
support, and it being authentic to what you really want to do, because it's easy to give up. I see a lot of girls do one pageant and then they never do it again if they didn't win. And it seems like a lot of broken hearts, but I think people learn like a lot, but there's like a strategy and like the voting, like you kind of go, hey, why'd that girl win? Like it's so funny behind the scenes of how people talk about it. They're like, oh, she's not even pretty. How did she win? Like it just gets to that in the end where the girls so jealous from each other. It's so
You know what
funny.
I find is the people who tend to leave immediately are the people who weren't necessarily in it for the right reasons.
Yeah,
And if
big.
the only reason you're competing is to win, you're missing the point of pageantry, right? Pageantry is a growth experience. It's about learning who you are and learning how to share that with the world, and then how to apply those skills to your own goals and desires. It's great to win the crown, and certainly the crown opens up more doors and gives you a larger platform and more eyes on you. But you do not need to win a pageant in order to benefit from a pageant. And I think that's what a lot of pageant girls
It's
either
what you
need to
make of
learn
it.
or
Yeah.
have learned and are utilizing that for themselves, right? So um, pageantry is an empowerment program. There truly is
Okay, that's a good way.
no other competition that forces you to look so inward and figure out who you are as a person and then learn how to share that with someone else. It's not an easy skill for human beings to do, and we
It's not
often don't,
natural. It's not
and we
natural
don't,
to prance
yeah, we
upon.
don't
No,
do
it's
it in our everyday
not.
life. We don't sit down and say, how do I feel about this matter and how would I present that to the world? It's not an everyday occurrence for people. So certainly it is a skill that is acquired. It's a skill that you get better at over time. The more you compete, the more you tend to understand the process and understand that a lot of those surface level stereotypes that are out there actually aren't the truth. We see beyond them and start to see the fuller picture.
I think I think people like are starting to get the idea that the people who do win or and are in a part of that community that are, you know, trying to actively like do good and charity work. And it's just like all about like trying to help others. Like I do like that aspect of how you guys push like, guys, make sure you make a difference for other. You kind of teach them to do that even if they weren't like into that lifestyle anyway. But the
Mhm.
amount of work that I've seen that Ashley's done or Nova Stevens,
Absolutely.
like all those women who are like actually famous now from this, it's kind of like, okay, it does work, you know, if you're wanting that to go that route. Because I think to myself, if I ever had a little girl, she's going into pageants. It's happening. So girl, I'll be coming to you at one day. Who knows?
Well, it's going to
I just
happen.
wonder.
And, you know,
It's so
I do
fun.
host pageants for kids for that
Yes.
very reason, because I believe the earlier we learn these life skills, the easier life becomes. And if we look at life in general, there are plenty of opportunities in our life where we have to present ourselves or make
Yeah.
presentations in the public. And if you talk to people, a lot of people's number one fear is public speaking. And yet it's a necessary skill for us in life, especially in the modern world. So even if that's just class presentations for school marks for your education, it's important to become comfortable with public speaking and comfortable with being in your own skin. So the earlier we teach these life skills, the easier these women get through life, and they have more confidence and more motivation and drive to get out there and accomplish their goals and know that it's truly possible.
That's so cool. Well, we've seen that, you know, like no one in this chat here needs to convince anyone. We know that like it's just an amazing art form of confidence displayed and inspiring people, but beauty as well, you know, because these girls that get dressed up, right? They don't actually dress up like that all the time, right? Like
Absolutely
that's like
not.
an art form. That's an art form itself, like dressing like a beauty queen. So anyone who likes Miss Congeniality, you know, like they kind of poke fun of it almost behind the scenes. And then in the end, you see how much like she grew from it. Like, so I think we all know that like it's such a fun, loving kind of thing. But it is a competition though. Like I've seen the good and the bad from both sides, sort of. And it's really just like so much fun to watch, and you like end up rooting for them and voting for them online and going through the list of the pictures of the girls with your friends. I mean, like, who's the hottest one? Who do you think's gonna win? And I did that with some of my guy friends, and we had too much fun where they were like, oh, I like her. Oh, she's beautiful. Let's look at her bio. Let's find out who she is. Let's go look her up on Instagram. So
I'm
it's
so glad
actually
you
like
took
the
it
girls have no
to the
idea.
level of actually reading their bios and getting to learn a little bit about them, because it is true. We do kind of at the surface level, we still just look at photos and think, oh, well, this person's the prettiest, they're going to win. And that's so far from the truth as to how a competition is scored, how it lays out in the end, but it is still the fun part for the fans. So some of that still exists.
The
Obviously,
show, right?
pageantry has
Yeah.
evolved over the years quite a bit, and
For
these
you,
women who,
for
well,
you,
I
it's
try.
changed. So you starting when you did, you know that firsthand because like what they used to like how they used to approach it. What's different that you had to maybe experience on for yourself?
Well, I would say, you know, the biggest difference and change to the industry has come through social media. Social media has drastically changed how these competitions are viewed, how they are managed. I mean, back in the day, you didn't know who your competitors were until you showed up till pageant day, because there was no
Oh,
marketing or showcasing or bios or things put out there before. You literally just showed up for competition day and that's what happened. Nowadays a lot of The work you put in is the pre-work. How do you market yourself beforehand? Um, and of course, as you know, marketing skills are so very important for us in this day and age. But it has changed the way fans compare people, how we look
Can
at
connect
everything.
with them. We can
And it's
connect with them, yeah, as well.
and it's changed the responsibilities of a title holder. You know, before it was you would be scheduled for an event, you would attend that event, and that was your outward presentation. Now, literally every day of your life is your outward presentation, that you are sending a message to the world.
Your life has changed. How
Your
long
life
is
does
it?
change. I mean, I'll be honest,
Yeah,
it,
it seems
you
like it.
become a public representative, and there is some scrutiny that comes along with that, and responsibility as well.
Well, you're putting yourself out there, because how you do that is how other people who say wish they could or have been
Mhm.
in the industry are watching. But that's when I say to people, you know what? Don't worry what others think. If it's meant for you, it will happen. If you put in the effort and the work and it's meant for you, and that's why I say too, like what you said before, if you're in it for the wrong reason, just to win, just to become famous, then like that'll come across and people will
Mhm.
see the genuine. Being genuine is so into it. Like I saw that you're a queen, that you did win. What the heck was that experience like for you? Like just standing there doing the whole thing, and like everybody wishes to be a queen. Like this is something everyone wishes.
I mean, we all strive for it. We all wish for it. We all hope for it. Um, but that moment is truly unlike anything else, because it's a realization of all that hard work that you put in,
Mm,
and knowing um, what comes next. The best part is that moment is just a moment, but it brings so much more.
mm. Right.
And so stay present in that moment so that you can feel it, live it, and enjoy it. But know that as soon as it passes, it comes with responsibility, and it comes with being a role model to the public. And so that's why we often don't see people who get in it for the wrong reasons winning it, because there is so much more that comes along with the title. I mean, a reign comes with that crown, and what you do with that reign changes your life and changes other people's lives.
Well, some of the women don't go for it though. I've seen a lot of the women like just be like, whatever, and like, oh, I won, and then they move on to the next person next year. But some of them are like giving her with like pushing that title. They have managers. It's like they become famous after. Anyways, I feel kind of like let's talk about what the judges feel when they're doing their thing, when they're social media searching, really seeing who these women are. Like you behind the scenes see these women, right?
Yes.
So, what was your year and title that you won again? Let's tell the audience that.
I've had a few titles over the years. My original title was Miss Calgary in
Yeah.
2006, and it's the system that I now run. So very honored to have taken over the system that I started in, that gave me this life. I moved on and held the title of Miss Earth Calgary in 2008, and then I competed in several national pageants, and then I went on to win the Mrs. Universe Canada title in 2019, and
Mhm.
went to China to represent Canada.
That's when I started noticing pageants. Angie Shilliday was competing at one point. I think she won like 2016, 17 or something. A blonde lady, very nice person. And I know her through our old film group. And I remember TJ Anderson also won or something. Yeah, and like my friends were starting to win. And then I was like, what? There's pageantry in Calgary? Like, no way. And they had fun with that, forever. Like, a title never goes away. I gotta say that I've
Yeah.
noticed that even when you're 80, you'll be known as like a pageant winner. So it's kind of like being an actor, right? Where you're like, hey, I was in that movie, I was in that project, I won, I won this. So I'm just like, wow, it's like kind of royalty almost. You feel like it's royalty when you're standing next to you, like, oh, they accomplished something. I really enjoy being friends with people that are in the pageant industry, but I myself would not have what it takes. I couldn't even stand on stage and like walk to in front of her. It just wouldn't happen. But I feel like it
You'd be
takes a lot of
surprised.
bravery. Yeah, if I practiced, right, and wanted it and was into it, but like,
Yeah.
you learn and grow. But I feel like it takes a special confidence and person to want to like be like, okay, I have what I want to say to everyone, and I'm confident enough to like make a difference. Like that's really what I see it as, is somebody who has the guts to stand up there and say, hey, I'm me and this is what I believe in. And I'm in the construct of this organization, but I just want to share who I am too. And I feel like
And the
that's so
truth is,
brave.
yeah, it takes a lot of confidence. It does take a woman with confidence and with the right mindset to get herself through it.
Yeah. You can like
Uh,
puke and feel like so nervous you're shaking, like if you're
Absolutely. But
in
you know
that
what the
good
truth is?
level.
It's great for people who are shy, who are afraid of it, because going through and putting yourself through the process and accomplishing it causes you to grow in a way like no other. It gives you a new sense of confidence in yourself. You were afraid, you didn't think you could do this, and you did it. And that means that you will take on other challenges in your life in a different way, because now you know, just because you're fearful doesn't mean you aren't capable. And so that's a lesson a
You're
lot of
so,
people need to learn.
you're so motivational. Oh my God. Everything you're saying. I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I could do this.
You
Um,
could, you
oh, geez.
absolutely could.
I'm Romanian. I've been asked a few times to like represent Romania in some pageants of sorts, but no, it's not a thing for me. But I do
It's
love
okay, and
watching
it
other
doesn't
people.
need to be a thing for everyone. That's the great thing. We all find the thing that works for us in this world.
Yeah. As well, like we'll be honest, like it's an investment as well, right? You gotta like wherever the pageant is, you gotta go. And like sometimes you're going to China. I feel
Yeah.
like you get to travel with pageantry more than anything. That's like to me, that would be like the most alluring part of the experience is like the people you get to meet and being able to be like just hoisted into a new like area, like wherever you're going, just
Well, the
all of a sudden in
best
your
part
life.
is when you travel, it's not just traveling. You are traveling, but you are meeting people from everywhere across the world. So you're not just going to China and meeting people who live in China. You're going to China, and I met 100 women from different countries across the entire world. And so it's like I'm traveling to meet the world when I go. It's really quite unique
Productive.
an experience.
I saw you guys, I was following you guys when you guys went to Ecuador, and I saw that you guys gave the magazine of I'm Here With to the mayor of Ecuador. And like when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like
Right?
that,
It's
yeah,
amazing
that's
how
that's pretty cool.
intermingled the world becomes.
Them looking at my work from very afar, just a random magazine or whatever, but with somebody that they met. So I feel
Yes.
like that's to them that helped my brand. So, it got me thinking about how I really want to support the girls and you and maybe share this, maybe create a new section for the magazine. So we have exciting news we want to share even with you is that we're going to chapters nationally with the magazine again.
Wow, that's exciting. That's so exciting. What a
Yeah.
partnership.
It is. It's a big deal, and we're getting a part of other distribution deals as well locally. So what I wanted to show you is how we did this incredible idea that I have with you. Is that I feel like the network would love to see who you are, and we do like a few page spread. So this lady was on the cover. Sometimes we
Hmm.
do a cover and a back cover, which it opens the same, where you're a cover, but we did like a 4-page spread on her, and it's like a Q&A, and we do our own photos with Darren Ballingall, but this was done by K2. And so then we asked them all about their career, and then behind it we did like a new section, and we could have where we do pageants in Calgary, or I'm
Okay.
not sure what we'd call it yet, probably what your company is called, Canadian Beauties Pageant or something. And then we kind of share the story of what we're doing. Raylu.
Mhm.
And then I'm just going with her. And then we had like featured all the people that were, a part of this new section. So I
Okay.
think we
Yeah,
should
amazing.
do that with the girls, or like follow the social media that we're doing, that you're posting and creating the content. And many days I see you doing this and I go, oh, why I want to put this in the page. I wish I could design this and put it there. So let's talk more about that after our interview here. But I do feel like I'd love to support the pageant community with you.
Well, I am so thankful for your interest in it. It is always, it's not easy for pageantry because we do face those old stereotypes that exist, and oftentimes media are not interested in featuring pageantry, or they're only
Oh,
interested in featuring the scandals
oh,
of
geez,
the
what's
industry rather than the positivity, um, and the depth of the industry, right? So anytime we have an opportunity to work with media where we get to shine a light on what pageantry truly is, I am so always very grateful for it.
yeah, I have lots of ideas. I wish we could have met today, but you know, the snow in Calgary is absolutely ridiculous and it's so cold. Whew.
And
So I
it's
feel
not
like
even
it's
just the
all good.
snow, it's the wind. I just like, if the wind could go away, that would be fabulous.
So what pageants are you working on right now?
Well, we actually just concluded our Junior Miss Alberta pageant this past weekend. So
Okay.
I'm currently sort of wrapping everything up post show there.
Who
And then
won?
I am,
Who won the titles?
well, we actually have 12 titles because it's a
Oh my
provincial
goodness.
pageant, and we have three age divisions
Mm,
within that pageant. So we have 12 new princesses in our province now,
cool.
from the ages of 5 all the way up to 12. And they're so adorable. I can't wait to
They
share
all
all the
are.
pictures with the world because they melt my heart every year. And
Yeah, they really do it for the right reasons. The kids, like when they're like little kids, it's always the moms and dads that want to help them. Like, think my kid's so cute, she's got it, put her out there, it's good for her. But it's always like the kids that steal the pageant show, where you realize, like,
they
oh my God, this is so fun.
there are just some amazing superstars out there, and being able to give them this platform to shine their personalities on, we know that this will change their life and give them so much confidence to head into, the teen years, which we all know are so difficult to figure ourselves out. But if we get started early, they're
That's
not so
true. Yeah,
hard.
you really say that a lot, hey, that it helps with building who you are and that confidence and how important that is. It's a good skill to have in life. I'm still
I
figuring out
think
who
it's
I
one
am.
of the
So
most
I hear you.
difficult skills in life to acquire is self-knowledge, and learning how to process how we feel and what we want to stand for, what are our morals and our beliefs. Um, as human beings, we spend our entire lives struggling over this and reevaluating and changing ourselves. So, learning how to go through that process just makes it so much more simpler for ourselves. And it will be something that, even if we're not aware of, it's a skill we will continue to use till the day we die.
My goodness. Well, how can we follow you, Lisa, and the pageant world in Calgary?
Well, there's a few different ways. In For Canada in general, my Canadian Beauties Instagram account, which is at CDN_beauties. That's where I follow and share national pageant news for everyone, and share news about my students and my queens that are there. As far as Calgary directly, you can either follow at Calgary Pageants on Instagram, or you can follow our junior pageant, which is at JMA Pageant, which stands for Junior Miss Alberta.
Mhm.
Those are the main accounts where you can find everything. Beyond that, we have Instagram accounts for each of our title holders. I could list so
Yes,
many of them.
it's a whole community of like you create pageant stars. It's just so much fun to look at, and I really enjoy seeing all the effort and friendships all the girls are making and all the group photos. But also I noticed too that a lot of brands, they just doing the gift bag thing, they putting them out, they giving them, and then they do like a branding thing where they post pictures and be like, thanks for the makeup or whatever it is. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, imagine if we had planned it in a certain way, where maybe like the people who are sponsoring the girls or the sponsoring the whole pageantry events or the products, they got to be inside this issue, and then with how the pageant went, and then maybe each of the girls could get kind of like a page of like what their pageant picture was, and then like behind the scenes pictures that you've posted on socials, maybe
Yeah.
that like have some of the brand, like I'm just, my mind went crazy, and I said there's a lot of girls who would want to be seen in this, because they would take that home with them as I accomplished this. They'd want to be giving it to their friends. Plus, it's going to be on shelves nationally. And I love
Yeah.
that your brand is national as well. So it's like I see a huge potential to A, maybe make some money together, B, promote your sponsors, you especially, and the girls slash the winners.
Yes.
So
You know, we're always just looking for opportunities to have eyes on what we do, and so you are one of those amazing opportunities that will bring eyes to us to be able to share what we do with the world. And you're right, something like this, it makes the girls feel so accomplished in what they have done,
yeah.
and it's a souvenir, really. It's a memento that they get to keep for life to remember what they have been doing.
Yeah, and it also puts them out there just the same that you're trying to do. And it's kind of like an after the fact kind of thing.
Mhm.
But there is always something that happens at the pageant. And there's always like kind of a story. I could see like you doing a picture of like what happened at the pageant. You could share like in a nice way, like what happened at this pageant. And the next issue you do like the different pageant, the girls a part of it. We could make a whole pageant magazine with how many people you're promoting. So I just feel
Uh,
like, babe, you do so much for the community. And it's, yeah, I would love to share with everyone what you're doing, Lisa. So thank you so much for being on our I'm Here With podcast show today. The people can find it on the YouTube channel with us and video for fun. And then also on our podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple as well, and like all there's like 7 of them. So guys, go check us out at imherewithmag.com, and we'll be sharing you a lot more on socials. So thank you very much.
well, it was such a pleasure, and just congratulations to you and everything that you have created. I mean, look at everything that you just listed, all the connections, all the avenues that you've been able to put your magazine into. It's truly a credit to your own success and your own dedication and passion.
Well, thank you so much, hon. Yeah, right now we're in Chinook mall called Shop Made, and a few other local stores in Calgary as well. But this national distribution that we're gonna go for the next issue, it's really just gonna help people like you guys, and put you up in a professional way. And the magazine brand is always local, to be honest. But let everyone else see what we're up to. Why not, eh? We're working hard
I
too.
mean, Calgary is amazing, and Canada needs to see a little bit more of it.
Yes, a lot of cool people I've noticed kind of stop by in Calgary, for concert. Like Gene Simmons is coming in like the 8th or something. I can't wait for that. And
Right.
yeah, there's lots of things happening in the community, and that's why we did the magazine, to be like, hey guys, we can be celebrities too, we're not that ego in Canada with that stuff, but really we're doing just as much as anybody else wherever it is. So we always support Canadian and people who come to Canada, and artists. So we see you as an artist, how you mold all these women, like that's like your clay, you're like building everyone out of clay when you meet them.
I do my best. Really, everything is based off the girl, their personality, and it's just finding a way to help them showcase themselves and let their own personalities shine.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa.
It was a pleasure.
Awesome.